Ayo, welcome into CHGO White Sox postgame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there and everyone who has a mother. I would assume it's most of you. It is Sunday, May 8th. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And happy Sox Sweep. The Sox sweep the Sox. The White Sox take down the Red Sox in Boston, taking all 3 games. You get great pitching performances from Vince Velasquez, Dylan Cease, and Dallas Keuchel. The bats showed up enough. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. I am the host of the CHGO White Sox podcast. And alongside me, as always, is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. Herb, I've missed you. How did you like the weekend?
Oh, man, it was great. I usually, sit down and watch a White Sox game. But yesterday I took my mother out, and happy Mother's Day to my mother, Linda Majette. And we went over to Bob Chin's. I didn't watch any of the games live, but I caught them up except for today's game. And I was like, all right, so of course I'm the hex, but no, Dallas Keuchel. All right, mercy.
Right? Shocking. And I saw you tweet out after every single inning. Are you surprised now that he still has a shutout? Are you surprised now that he still has a shutout? I know some people.
Because I was shocked.
Issues. I was shocked too. I mean, even the way it started off. I mean, to the first batter, he goes down 2-0, and I'm like, oh Jesus, here we go again. But we'll get into the Dallas Keuchel start and how good it was, because it was pretty. I don't want to say classic Keuchel here. I don't want to say he's back, but it is shocking that when his job really is on the line, he showed up like he did today with Vince Velasquez, how he's pitching, and Johnny Cueto supposedly coming up soon.
Yeah, maybe that's what he needs. He needs people to be chasing him. I mean, he knows the writing's on the wall, and the White Sox, and just saw Robinson Cano get DFA'd by the Mets, and maybe he thinks, hey, the White Sox might be doing this too, because we see VV doing this thing, and Cueto's coming up before May 15th, or not. So I better get my stuff together. What a perfect team to do it against this now 5 in a row losing Boston Red Sox team.
I don't think people would assume the Red Sox to be a get-right start team. But 6 innings, 8 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk is the big key there, and 5 Ks for Dallas Keuchel. We'll get into his start a little bit later because, yes, he did have the first 5 shutout innings, but then the 6th inning got a little bit shaky. I know people didn't love Tony's managing today, so we'll get into that topic of discussion. But let's start off. I was assuming that it was going to be Michael Wacha versus Dallas Keuchel, and I also thought it was going to be Dylan Cease versus Michael Wacha, because that looked like the pitching matchup heading into the series when we last talked with Vinny on Thursday. It ends up being Keuchel and Tanner Houck and Dallas Keuchel. The Sox end up winning today 3-2. The last time these two faced, back on April 18th in 2021, it was also 3-2. That one was a doubleheader. But what'd you like from the Sox bats today? They did get off to an early lead. They did knock out Houck before he got to 3 innings pitched. So what'd you like about the White Sox offense today?
Before we get to that, I want to give kudos to Tony La Russa. I will crap on him when I think he did something wrong. Now, I don't know if it was ultimately his decision, but to switch Dylan Cease for Keuchel, it worked out. It was a game plan. It was a strategy. I don't know if it was to give Dallas more time to rest, because that seemed to work, or to secure the series. Like, they already knew that they're going to get probably a good effort from Vince Velasquez on Friday, which they did. And then Dylan Cease only gives up 1 in his start on Saturday, and the Sox come back miraculously in the 9th inning there with Lurie Legend with a sac fly. And then today we get the sweep of the Boston Red Sox. But the hitters, they had a plan. Lurie Legend. As a person who is the Lurie Legend hater fan club, not the person and not the player, but how much they use him, I got to give him credit. He had a great series in Boston. He was hitting the ball really hard. Hit the ball, which would have been home run in 22 of the 30 ballparks in the major leagues late in the game. That whole inning, the White Sox were crushing that ball off of that pitcher. I'm going to see which pitcher's name it was. It was Robles. They were lying out ropes in 3 straight outs. But I got to give credit to Lurie Garcia. Solid hitting. And Jose Abreu was woken up. He's ready. The weather's getting a little warmer. We're getting a little warmer with Jose Abreu and Grandal. Hitting the ball opposite field is the sign that he's coming. We're going to be in great shape for the season to come. To give Timmy a day off and still win a game and win 6 in a row without scoring more than 4 runs in any of those games, that's amazing.
Well, and Herb, you didn't mention the big thing because on Monday, the White Sox are getting a huge reinforcement. Yoán Moncada is back. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. We'll focus on the game in the first 20 minutes. We'll focus on the series a little bit later, and then we'll focus on the upcoming Cleveland series and the home stretch, too. Yankees are coming to town as well. This was a great benchmark for the Sox. I was surprised that they won on Friday. I was surprised that they won on Saturday, even turned that game off, expecting them to lose that game. And I was surprised for them to get a win today. I do like how you mentioned, Tony La Russa. He should get some credit, or the White Sox, front office in general, just making sure that pitching matchup was the way it was. You look at Saturday, I thought they were going to have a fine of a time versus Nick Pivetta. He ends up dealing out there. Thankfully, we have our stopper in Dylan Cease, and it just shows you, how mature Dylan Cease is. I mean, he was just fantastic again. Another great outing for him, and the strike percentage was up again for Dylan Cease. I mean, when he's going to be at 67% strike percentage like he was on Saturday, the Sox have a true ace in him. All right, let's get into the game because now I'm this little COVID brain Herb is drawing me all these different places. We could skip the first two innings if you don't mind. Let's get to the third inning where the Sox end up putting damage on the board. Reese McGuire singled to right. Then Josh Harrison got hit by a pitch. Then Danny Mendick sacrificed bunt when no outs, runners on first and second. I actually saw the move coming. I don't know about you. I didn't hate the sacrifice bunt to move over McGuire and Harrison to get them a third and second. What did you think of it in the moment, being a guy who is, mostly anti-bunt?
I always hate it. Every single time, unless you're sacrifice bunting for a run, I always hate sacrifice bunts. You're giving up an out. You got the pitcher on the ropes, first two guys out, and I know you're adverse, not you, but White Sox and everybody else is adverse to the GIDP. But let's play. Let's play for more runs than just one. I know it worked out. Great. Awesome. But in the long run, you're costing yourself runs. And with Dallas on the bump, yes, he was dealing through two. Well, not dealing, but he got out of those innings through two. Mm-hmm. But you need more runs to score with a guy like Dallas who's not reliable on the bump. So I didn't like it. I would have wanted Danny Mendick to swing away, and whatever happens, happens. Yes, you put that lineup out there that has Lurie at the top of it. So usually you would have Tim Anderson, but you put Lurie out there, and Lurie's been having a good series. So have some trust and some faith in him that he's going to get the job done. So it worked out. Ultimately, we scored the one run off of those two guys getting sacrificed over. And then we got the two others when Jose Abreu hit that RBI double down the line.
Yeah, so then Lurie would then hit an infield single. He would be safe at first. McGuire would reach home, scoring the Sox first run. Harrison would move over to third. Then Robert grounded into a fielder's choice. It was a great play by Houck to make sure that Harrison went back to third. He ends up getting Garcia at second. So no run scores in the play. But like you mentioned, Abreu doubles down the left field line. Harrison scored easily. And then they mentioned it on the broadcast. Luis Robert starts slowing up at third base. But here comes Super Joe McEwing sending another one. And here comes Luis Robert. He really turned on the Jets there. He ends up scoring a huge important run for the Sox as they end up winning 3-2. That's the game-winning run right there. But to keep the inning alive, I understand you're sacrificing an out there with Mendick, but Steve Stone has mentioned this now a couple times on the broadcast that Tony is putting guys more emotion on the bases when they get there. And with the way that we've been talking about the deadened ball and how the White Sox have since 2019 have relied on the home run for, their runs, we have not seen a ton of home runs from this White Sox offense, but we have seen a ton of balls in play. And there you go with Lurie Garcia tapping one into the infield, with Robert tapping one in the infield. It ends up being an important decision to sacrifice Mendick, to have Mendick sacrifice. I like the idea because let's look at the balls in play here. Let's look at the Sox because they're not walking. They are striking out, at a fairly low rate here. But let's look at their plate appearances and their balls in play from StatCast compared to the other 20 teams in the major leagues. And Herb, what I want you to look at is this plate appearance list right here. And you see 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. And then you look all the way down to 14. You see 928. Out of the top 20, there are only two teams that have less than 1,000 plate appearances that have, top 20 balls in play. The White Sox and the Philadelphia Phillies are under 1,000. Sox at 928. The Philadelphia Phillies at 959. The White Sox have I think it's the 26th lowest plate appearances this year, and they have the 14th most balls in play. That probably doesn't mean anything when you're just hearing those numbers, but let's go to this note here that I put together to kind of take you through it. They have the third lowest plate appearances at 928, the 14th most balls in play at 678. That's a balls in play percentage of 37%. The Nationals
73.
lead. What's that?
I thought you said 37. I think it's 73.
73. Here, there's the COVID brain again. Nationals lead major leagues in plate appearances and balls in play, but their percentage is only 70%. So they're walking more. They're getting guys up to the plate more. They're scoring more runs, right? They're turning that lineup over more than the Sox. But the Sox need to take advantage of when they put those balls into play. And I just want to point out, if they maintain this 73% of balls in play percent, this will be the highest ever, or the highest since 2017 when the Royals had 73% and the Astros had 73% back in 2017. So I just found it interesting that the Sox are doing something that really hasn't been done in 5 years at this point, putting this many balls in play and trying to get runners in at any way possible. Because yes, Abreu is heating up. Grandal is heating up. We saw Robert launch one off Nathan Eovaldi, but the home run just hasn't been there yet. So to win any way that you have, and you just won 6 straight and you need to make up for the 8-game losing streak, I'm fine with a little small ball here. I want to see more stolen bases. You see Yaz steal a base a little bit earlier. It doesn't turn into a run for the Sox, but this small ball worked in the 3rd inning for the Sox, ended up being their only 3 runs of the game. I'm fine with the decision to bunt if Tony needs to score runs this way. I think I got to give him a little bit of credit here.
Yeah, I hear you in just saying we score a run, that means it's successful. And I know you went through that whole thing, and that's good. And they're putting balls in play. That's awesome. But I think you're costing yourself in the long run of scoring more runs. I know you said that it worked because Lurie got that infinite swing. It wouldn't have worked if he didn't bunt over there. It doesn't work like that. Space-time continuum doesn't work like that. say Danny Mendick hits into his ground ball double play there. There's a different at bat. Lurie maybe hits a home run there. Or Danny Mendick walks. Or he gets a hit and they have Tanner Houck really on the ropes. Then you can score more runs in that inning. So you don't know what happens. Or the opposite can happen. Danny Mendick could hit into a triple play and you say, hey, why didn't you bunt right there? It's all because of the success. And I know that you more put it into, hey, this is why Tony's doing it. And it was a beautiful way. My thought process is that is great. And you're using those analytics and those stats. Tony's not. Tony's using, I'm old. That guy can't hit. And Danny Mendick,
well,
we have first and second on. Bunt. That's automatic. Boom, bunt. With that guy on who's the 9th hitter.
Herb, I'd like to be a little bit more optimistic about our team. I'd like to not just write off our manager as he's doing this because he's old. I'd like to give Tony, who's won a couple World Series, a little bit more credit. Hey, I don't blame you. But me as the 24-year-old, am I 24? Me as the 24-year-old, I'm shocked I'm not pulling the ages card on the 76-year-old manager, and you are as the 40-plus-year-old. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if Tony knows those numbers, but I mean, he can't be stupid. I mean, if he understands that they're not walking a ton, they're not striking out a ton, they must be putting the ball in play. I think there has to be some line of thinking here. I hope there is, because I think there is a connection, at least, to why the White Sox might be playing a little bit of small ball here.
I'm happy. I mean, they're still offensively struggling overall. They're looking better than they were, but scoring 3-4 runs a game in this 6-game winning streak is just about what's going on with the pitching. The pitchers are carrying this team. Now, they're really good. I don't know how long they can do this, but the offense, we're getting reinforcements tomorrow with Yoán Moncada coming back. And I love that Tony said, Yoán Moncada hitting second.
Yeah. It's good to see Yoán Moncada hitting second, but no, hey, Steven, can we go back to that last comment? Because in comes Yoán Moncada, in comes Joe Kelly, and according to Scott Merkin, he just tweeted out Aaron Bummer to the IL per Tony La Russa. So, the Sox can't catch a break. And maybe that's why we see Bennett Sousa in the 9th today. I did see that Bummer wasn't available to pitch today, but that's horrible news that Bummer's going to have to go to the IL.
Apparently we didn't have Graveman either.
Yeah, no Graveman today, and he pitched on Friday, so it's not like he just pitched, which was odd to see. No Hendricks as well, but he was used 5 straight days. That one makes a little bit more sense, but we'll get to the bullpen in a second. I want to go back to the batting real quick. Gavin Sheets, top of the 4th, no men on, no men out. He bunts with a right-handed pitcher up. What are we doing with Gavin Sheets?
I hope after the game he's explaining to the assembled media that, hey man, I'm in a slump. Sometimes you just need to see the ball and hit the ball. And hitting the ball for me now is bunting. And I was just trying to bunt my way on. I hit the ball to the left side of the infield or the right side if you're playing the infield a couple times this week, and it's been for success. When I've been trying to swing the bat, it's been terrible. So all I wanted to do is see the bat, hit the ball somehow, and bunt it and try to get a hit. That's the only explanation I have. Otherwise, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's really terrible. I mean, the execution was terrible. The thought process, I can get there. I go there with him. If he explains it like that, not the fact that it was just like hit right in front of the pitcher, and the pitcher just like, all right, thanks for the help, brother. Peace. Go sit down on the bench.
It's kind of sad to see because I was watching, highlights last night of him hitting the Jose Barrios walk-off home run, and that was just such a sweet swing, and you're just like, where's that been? And when you guys that lost, a power hitter like that, and he's going up against his handedness, and he's just giving up a bunt like that, I do wonder if maybe he goes down when Moncada comes up, because Jake Burger is giving you better at-bats. Jake Burger, yes, he might not be able to play the field, but right now, Gavin Sheets is out in left field, and he can't play that damn
I was
position.
literally thinking that. I was like, can not Jake Burger play left field like Gavin Sheets played left field?
Right. I mean, like, he's got a big arm. I mean, he'd probably be able to throw at least into third base and maybe to home. But it's just, I mean, they had Leury out there as well today. So it's not like left field is this staunch position for the Sox at the moment with Vaughn down. So I really think that we could see Gavin Sheets going down just with the way this at bat happened. And he ends up being taken out for Engel a little bit later. We do have a super chat from our guy, Stupid Donkey. He said, send tips, folks. And we do work on tips. What's up, Steven?
Sorry, we don't have the cool sound effects. I just want to shout it out and say thanks for the tips, guys. Appreciate it.
Any amount, it's good. No amount is good, guys. We appreciate it, Stupid Donkey. You're my mans.
Yeah, he is the man, and shout out to Jaxo too, who was the man during the Crosstown series. It's been cool to see those pop up, and I wonder if Stupid Donkey, how well he almost fared in the Kentucky Derby. I wonder if you put him as the 21st horse. Does he have a race like Rich Strike? Everyone could get lucky, especially a Stupid Donkey.
I'm not a horse guy, but it's weird that a horse that added like the day before wins the Kentucky Derby from way back.
You're in Tanny's. You're in Tanny's guy. Paul Correct slid into my DMs talking about his horse racing bets from yesterday. And I said it's like if Jake Lamb got immediately subbed into the home run derby against like Shohei Ohtani and Juan Soto and won, and hit like 40 bombs. I think Sheets going down, it could happen. I mean, he gets pinch hit for Engel in the 6th. I just don't love what you're seeing from Gavin Sheets. He's got to go find it somewhere else. And that really sucks because he's one of the most intriguing trade pieces for the Sox. And at this point, teams might look at Jake Burger as a more attractive piece just because he's up here doing the damn thing. But let's move on because Gavin Sheets is a little bit of a sad story. And if we don't have to talk about it just yet, maybe he'll be able to find himself.
Let's go to handedness will win out on that one for Gavin Sheets.
You think
since he's left-handed? Yeah, he'll be left up in the majors, and then Burger eventually will be sent back down when Moncada comes back tomorrow.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see Grandal play first base today. He's obviously got the left-handed swing. Moncada has the ability to hit left-handed. So I could see it. I could see Sheets go down and Moncada come up tomorrow. I wouldn't be too shocked about that, but we'll talk about that tomorrow. We will have a pregame and postgame tomorrow. Yes, me, Herb, and Vinny doing it for you on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Before we get into Dallas Keuchel's rocky bottom of the 6th inning, because I see this, and Melissa mentioned it as well. She mentioned how long are we going to get around Tony's managing with this offense and how the pitching has carried this team like it has last year, to the point of this year so far. The pitching has been fantastic, but the offense hasn't been there just yet. We'll talk about Tony's decisions and where he could have made opposite choices. Before we get into the ad read, though, we got a super chat. Matthew Cortez saying, thanks for all you guys do. Thank you so much. How would you say that last name? Am I saying it right?
Cortez?
I
mean, I always go, I think that's how Dan Cortez says his name.
Oh, that's the MTV guy?
MTV Grind. I think him from the Grind, or is that Eric Neese? I don't know. But that's what Dan Cortez says it.
I only know Dan Cortez from the SNL moments where they mention him, when Stefan mentions him on SNL. Steven, you got to pop in here real quick. Pop into your little bubble. How are you saying this last name? You're a former play-by-play announcer. Matthew Cortez?
Like I would have guessed Cortez.
Cortez.
That would have been my guess.
But he says Scorsese down here, like Scorsese. So Cortese.
Matthew,
Matthew
put in the
Cortese.
comments. Give us
I don't
the
need to say
phonetic
that.
spelling. We'll put it on there. We'll get it right.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
That's offensive, Matthew Cortese.
Thank you for all that you do, Matthew. We do appreciate it. No, hey, here comes Courtney. Whoa, what's up? All right, we got to slow down.
That's the right hand moving to the left hand.
Right.
For those that don't know, that's my fiance, Courtney.
And if you don't know, you can't see Herb's face in the profile picture. Hi, Courtney.
That's me.
Hi, Matthew. Hi, Stupid Donkey. Thank you for supporting CHGO.
And Herb's wearing the same sunglasses there, too.
Yeah, the prescription, baby.
Hey, damn right.
Those are Ray-Bans. You didn't cheap out.
Yeah, it's like $200 glasses. I'm wearing them all the time. I can wear them.
Strut those stuff. And if you want to help support CHGO in a way that's other than a super chat, thank you so much for the super chats. You can download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. That's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, and a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. PointsBet is your home for live play. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting, and it just got even better. Introducing PointsBet's newest feature, the live NBA same-game parlay. For the first time ever, you can build the perfect live NBA same-game parlay only with PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. And if you want more, you can also boost your live same-game parlays. You can watch live, parlay live, and boost live with PointsBet. Online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right now and register your account from start to finish, all from your phone. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Tim Anderson helped me win my bet life last Friday. I bet him to hit two plus hits, and he came through, Herb.
And you know our guy, Mike Meingastner, just joined the Discord?
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He's CHGO member now. He saw him. I was like, oh, it's good to see my man. He might have already been a member, but he just joined the Discord. So it's good to see him there. If you guys want to do the same, as Sean says, be a CHGO member at allchgo.com or at the PointsBet read that he just did.
Stupid donkey says,
back and you're sending another super chat. He says, Herb, your fiance sending tips doesn't count.
I agree.
And look, right on cue, we got one more super chat here. Rusted
we appreciate
Cole is always in our chat.
And also, I want to know how to say Rusted's last name. Is it Coley?
I would say Cole.
I've been saying Cole.
I would say Cole. Cohle. I would say Cole. Put some money on our boys today to leverage Keuchel's start odds. You guys deserve a piece of having a great place to rage and cheer. Keep the wins piling up. Let's go get those weird-ass Minnesota Twins. Amen. And shout out to Rusted Cole. And shout out to Mike. And I think it's Gassner. I think it's Menningassner. I'm horrible with last names. That's on me. I give a shout out to him because on Locked On Sox at the start of the year, he said, I'm going to write in every week. He stopped after 3 weeks.
We might not know
a lot of writing.
We did get one name pronunciation here, though.
Yes, we did get Scorsese.
And I want to say hello to the people who are listening to us on Monday or Tuesday, our podcast people. I know sometimes we neglect you people. We're listening. We got you. We know that you listen the next day. And so it's more we're catering more to the visual people who are right here. But we got you, baby. We love you too. Thank you for listening the day after on your way to work.
And you're listening to the free post-game shows that you get with CHGO. We'll have podcasts and live shows on every team every day. We'll have a pre- and post-game show tomorrow for the Guardians and White Sox matchup at Guaranteed Rate Field. And that game will have a recap written by our great CHGO beat writer at allchgo.com, Vinny Duber. You can get premium written content if you go become a member at allchgo.com. Like our guy Mike did. He got his CHGO pocket flag t-shirt on the way. You get a free shirt when you sign up to be a member. You get access to Vinny's great work and all of our writers at allchgo.com. And like you mentioned, you saw him in the Discord. You can join the CHGO Lounge when you become a member at allchgo.com. So that is one way to help us out. Become a member, join our community. And, like Rusted Cole said, this is a place where we get to talk about the wins. We get to talk about the losses. We get to celebrate. We get to rage and cheer together. And let's talk about Tony La Russa making some interesting decisions in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Dallas Keuchel comes out for the 6th inning. He gets Trevor Story striking out swinging. Then Rafael Devers hits a single to center field. Then Xander Bogaerts hits a single to right field. And then at this point, I'm pretty sure Ryan Burr starts warming up. Then JD Martinez grounds out to Keuchel. Devers scored, made it 3-1. Then Christian Vasquez single to left field. Bogaerts scored, made it 3-2. And then Verdugo, with Keuchel still on the mound, hits one out to center field. 3-2, they get the out. Keuchel escapes. What were you feeling in that 6th inning, Herb? What did you think about Tony's decision to start Burr, get him up, but not ultimately put him in the game?
I thought that it would have been a great thing for after he got the first out. Great job, Dallas. Give me the ball. 5 1/3, shutout ball. I mean, you got the runner at first. 5 1/3 sounds good to me. Good job, kid. Get your ass back in the dugout. You gave us a chance to win today. But Tony and Ethan Katz had way more faith than and I'm sure many Sox fans had in Dallas Keuchel.
He is.
I mean, truth be told, he came through. I mean, when Christian Vasquez hit that double or the single to score Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. I'm just waiting for Tony to come out. And Ethan Katz came out. I was like, what are we doing here? Come on now. What are we doing? Are we gambling here? Like, we have faith. We're giving Dallas Keuchel, out of all the pitchers here, the long rope instead of the Cease or anybody else on the staff. Ooh, that's tough, friends. Truth, I mean, credit where it's due. That man came through, got the out he needed, got his 6 innings, quality start, as a quality start is judged. 6 earned runs or 6 innings, 3 or less earned runs. He only gave up 2. Got to give kudos to Dallas. Got to give kudos to Tony because it came through, because I would be hammering him if it didn't. In this case, I'll relax the process over results because it came through, because I know the other way I would be just killing him if they would have gave up that tying run. But yeah, I was not a fan of it, but results here favor, and I'll be a little nicer to Tony than I usually am. Sorry, guys. I know you guys want me to hammer him on the process of his thoughts. Maybe in the game, we don't have our Vinny Duber there. Usually he'll say, we thought this, that, the other, and he explains his way out.
Right.
But I don't know if you can, other than saying, I just wanted to have Dallas give faith or give him a little bit more confidence. Otherwise, I don't know what he's going to say about that inning.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because you're pitching to the heart of the lineup the 3rd time through, I'm pretty sure. It might have been second. No, 3rd time.
No, 3rd time.
So I was pretty shocked to see that, and it wasn't shocking to see Xander Bogaerts smarten up and go the other way with a single in his at-bat. It wasn't shocking to see, Christian Vasquez, even though it's Christian Vasquez, come through with the single because he was having some nice at-bats. So I didn't love the decision. I didn't love the decision to get guys warmed up, and it made sense to go with Burr at, the Martinez point or the Vasquez point. I didn't mind Keuchel facing Verdugo, if we're being honest, but I did mind him facing the other 2 batters that got him into hot water and shrunk that lead a little bit to 3-1. But you mentioned it, quality start for Dallas Keuchel. You want to play a game here? Over under 3.5 quality starts. How many quality starts do the White Sox now have in 2022?
I think I know this specifically. I think it's over, because I know Vince Velasquez on Saturday, the Saturday before, I got one. Cease got one right after that. And if I'm not mistaken, either one of them got on. No, Cease went out before. I would say 4 over.
This is their 4th one. So
boom.
Dallas Keuchel, Vince Velasquez, and Vince Velasquez make 3 of the 4 quality starts up for the Chicago White Sox in 2022. What the hell is going on? It was shocking, this series, for what you got from Velasquez and what you got out of Dallas Keuchel. Let's go to Keuchel's pitch mix today and talk about how he did do a good job, because it was a good job today. It was fantastic. You look at the whiffs right here, 23% whiff percentage for Dallas Keuchel today. He got 4 on the sinker, 5 on his cutter, 9 total on 39 swings. 23% is well above the major league average of 11%. So Dallas Keuchel had those 2 pitches working today, and he also had the sinker working. 20 called strikes for Dallas Keuchel. He had 24 called strikes plus whiffs on his sinker alone. That is good for a 41 called strike plus whiff percentage, 40% called strike plus whiff percentage on his cutter. The MLB average is around 27. His total for the game with his sliders and changeup mixed in were 33% for called strikes plus whiff percentage, and that is above the MLB average of 27%. So Dallas Keuchel did have it working today. He did a great job of working outside to Red Sox hitters and then coming inside. He did a great job of going east to west on these barrels and making sure that guys were having a tough time barreling his stuff up. It wasn't perfect. He wasn't like electric. He could still be a little bit better in 0-0 counts, making sure that he gets ahead of hitters. He does work better when he is ahead of hitters, but 16 out of 25 today, first pitch strikes to 25 batters. So, Keuchel overall for Dallas Keuchel, it's great to see her.
Yeah, this is weird that not any whiffs on his changeup at all. 0. But he has to throw the changeup to get him off of his sinker, to get him off of his cutter. That's what he was doing effectively today. And whatever he thinks he needs to do, today was a well-pitched game. I don't care if Boston's struggling. You guys saw it. Rafael Devers is a champion. 3 straight singles. He's going to be good when it's all said and done. Same thing with Xander Bogaerts. And Trevor Story struggling. So is Verdugo and all the rest of the Enrique Hernandez. But that lineup is still deadly, and this is a pitcher that can get them on their way if he's pitching the way he's pitched earlier in 2022. But Dallas is like, nah, son, today I got your number, and I'm doing the right things. I thought like you when he walked the first batter, and it was Kike Hernandez. I'm like, that man is hitting $130. Let Kike Hernandez hit it as far as Kike Hernandez can hit it. Put it over the plate. And then Dallas calmed down. He had a couple situations where first and second, nobody out. GIDP strikeout. That's the true champion form that Dallas Keuchel has that we know that's in there. We saw it in 2020. We don't need it the whole season. We just need to see it like it was in 2020. It was two or three quick months of dominant baseball. Now, he will not be a sub-2 guy or a 2 ERA guy this year. All I'm asking is a 4.50 ERA for the season. He probably saw the writing on the wall too. You see VV with his second quality start again. Yeah. And then he sees that Keuchel has to come up by May 15th or they can release him. He's coming up. So my number's up. It's time to do some things and maybe pressure burst pipes, but it also creates diamonds. And Dallas decided it's diamond time.
Yeah, it was diamond time today. And
Diamond Dallas Keuchel.
I think that you're probably bang. I probably think you're gonna see Cueto at the last day. I think that they're probably gonna hold off that decision until May 15th to call him up to the major leagues. I don't feel like that's going to be a process that's going to be made too soon because Cueto hasn't looked too sharp down in AAA just yet. So I think they'd honestly probably want to get at least one more start out of him. You still got 7 days until that May 15th day. And if Keuchel and Vince Velasquez are going to pitch like this, I mean, why not give them one more shot or one more go around? I don't mind seeing another Keuchel or Vince Velasquez start. And I don't think that we're going to see him DFA'd unless he has like 5 bad starts in a row because, as long as his defense isn't going to make errors, he could have a day like this. The White Sox defense today behind him, fantastic, no errors. And through, those 6 innings, the reason that he got out of so many innings was because he got the ground balls necessary and the White Sox were able to turn those double plays. You even saw Reese McGuire have an odd throw down to second base from his knees. I think it was to get Arroyo at second base.
Like a strike him out, throw him out. Yeah,
the strike him out, throw him out. But, the defense was good enough today. And I think that if the White Sox can get that type of effort when Dallas Keuchel is pitching, it won't be as ugly as that one Guardians start where he gives up 10 runs in the first 2. And if he's not walking people like this, then he will have quality starts or will put himself into the position to have quality starts. So, and he was extremely efficient too. So you got to love to see that through 6 innings. I think he was around 70 pitches. He really worked himself in that 6th inning, got up to 91, but overall pretty damn good for Dallas Keuchel. You want to talk about this bullpen here?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
Mercy.
The Chicago White Sox spent $29 million this offseason on free agents. $15 million of that, $29 million was spent on the bullpen alone on Kendall Graveman and Joe Kelly. $8 million for Kendall Graveman, $7 million for Joe Kelly in 2022. Today, they used 4 fairly homegrown arms that cost a combined $2.84 million to shut down a playoff team from 2021. Ryan Burr, Jose Ruiz, Matt Foster, and Bennett Souza, not in that order, all come out of the pen and shut down the Red Sox in 7, 8, and 9. What'd you think of the performance? Because I have a lot of questions after this one.
I think that the White Sox have a bona fide stud in Matt Foster. We thought that in 2020 when he came up mostly fastball changeup. That slider is dumb. It's real dumb. And I know you have a graphic for it. Wow. This guy has reinvented himself. Roll Tide, Matt Foster. He is, as I think it's Sam Reeves says, future closer. Got to give him credit. That guy has stuff. And like you said, they spent a lot of money on the bullpen. These are what we call good problems. We are getting one of there's one of them right there for the people who are listening.
Matt Foster exists. Remember,
it's a Sean Anderson tweet. And it's a great, your graphic design is your passion, Sean.
He exists, sir.
Seeing him and then knowing you didn't even use your best your closer at all, Liam Hendricks today. You didn't use your second guy in Kendall Graveman, who might be your best reliever. You're getting Joe Kelly back. I mean, you're out of Garrett Crochet for the whole year. You didn't use any of your top relievers today. They still came through with flying colors.
And Rex Smith saying Foster is what the media thinks Bummer is. No, he's not. Aaron Bummer makes $16 million. Matt Foster doesn't make over $1 million. Matt Foster was in AAA last year. No, I know, but it's just like people always say the media or analytics with Bummer. The guy is figuring it out. And when he is on, he is one of the best left-handed relief pitchers in baseball. White Sox fans love to hate the guy that is good and love the guy that is somewhat mediocre. I'm surprised we haven't seen Bennett Sousa over Aaron Bummer yet in the chat.
We said that we thought that Bennett Sousa is going to be sent down when Joe Kelly comes back. Right. That will not happen anymore. Probably not, because after the game, we got the news that Aaron Bummer's got some knee problems, folks.
Right. And maybe that is what helps figure out Aaron Bummer's situation. They're still trying to figure out what he was, with his ball coming off of his fingers with the sinker. That's what Ethan Katz and Aaron Bummer have talked about, him trying to find the grip of his sinker again and make sure that it can come out of his hands more consistently. And maybe it's an injury issue as well. He had some injury issues back in 2021. Once he came back off the IL, he was better for the Sox late in the season. So I would expect things to turn around for Aaron Bummer. He is inconsistent, but also when he finds his consistency, the dude is more than nails. It's lights out, power outage. You're not turning that back, that thing back on. It's like when they cut the power in Die Hard, right? They cut the entire city power. That's Aaron Bummer when he's efficiently working. But let's go to Matt Foster and his 8th inning. We can skip over Ryan Burr's work in the 7th inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th, and let's talk about Rafael Devers coming up. Matt Foster ends up striking out Trevor Story, Rafael Devers, and Xander Bogaerts. Just insane stuff. But let's go to the second at-bat between Devers and Foster's. You can see the first pitch there from Matt Foster is a strike at the knees, just called strike, easy over the plate. He gets strike 2 right on the inside corner on the black, a swinging strike on Rafael Devers. Those two were at 94 miles per hour and 93 miles per hour. He follows up those two fastballs with those two first fastballs with 2 more fastballs. So he starts off Devers with 4 straight fastballs, and you could just feel the changeups coming. He throws a perfect one over the plate, down. Devers spits on it. Yeah. Then he fouls back a fastball at 94 miles per hour. Then Foster almost hits him with a slider, and Youkilis was marveling at this on the broadcast.
Yes.
Devers kind of pirouettes out of the way, spins around, barely misses him. Matt Foster caught a break on that one. And then Herb, he just gears up, right? He's thrown not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5 fastballs to Rafael Devers, the best hitter in the Red Sox lineup. He throws a 6th one for a swinging strike and ratchets it up to 96 miles per hour, his fastest one of the at-bat. Matt Foster was gaining power against Devers, and it was beautiful pitching right there. I mean, he just sets him up with fastball. Hey, this is what I got. Let me show it to you. Let me show you the other stuff too to get your eye direction changing with the changeup and the slider. And then let me just ratchet it up as fast as I can to 96 miles per hour. And Stoney said it. That's not on the scouting report. You're not expecting Matt Foster to throw 96.
And this is a classic example of the league adjusting to you after your rookie year in 2020, when you dominated fastball changeup for the most part. Then 2021, you threw way too many changeups for Matt Foster. Then he had to go to AAA and get better and get retooled and understand what the hitters have been relearning about him and say, you know what? No, I ain't gonna sitting on my changeup. I'm gonna develop this slider to be filthy, and they can get off of my fastball and get off of my changeup. So I now have 3 pitches that I can use, which he barely uses the changeup today. But man, that's a FU fastball.
Right.
I know it's a close game. 3-2. Rafael, do your worst. Do your worst against this 97 up top. No? Cool. I'm going to the bench, kid. And you saw, I think it was Reese McGuire after that strikeout? I think it was only the second out. Mm-hmm. He thought it was a third out. He was pumped. He was like, yeah, let's go. Like, you usually get that reaction when you're going to the dugout and you're about to celebrate with your team. But no, that was the second out. He still had another guy to get out.
I think it was Euclid who was on the broadcast with Stoney and Benetti. It might have been. Oh, it was Jim Margulis. I'm sorry, it wasn't Euclid. Euclid and Margulis.
They look alike.
Yeah, similar family. I don't know if I've ever seen that kind of catcher reaction on a 1-out strikeout. It was absolutely great to see Reese McGuire get up. He had a great game too. Throwing out that runner at second base was great to see. He had the single that started off the inning where they end up scoring 3 runs. McGuire has been fantastic behind the plate. But yeah, Matt Foster only using his changeup once, and that's what they talked about with on the broadcast. The fact that this guy has been, the whole scouting report says you got to watch out for his changeup. And for him to go Story, Devers, Bogarts, and only use that changeup once really shows you how well he has developed and how healthy he is, because we've mentioned that a little bit before too. He was down in AAA last year, getting over some injuries. So Matt Foster is back, and it makes me wonder, why are we spending $15 million on bullpen arms when you have homegrown stuff that looks this nasty in Ruiz and Foster? And hey, $15 million. Let's see. Carlos Rodon makes $22 million. I think we could have made up that $7 million. The more and more I see it, Herb, it's like, why did we spend this money on the bullpen? And why do we have to see Dallas Keuchel and Vince Velasquez and Johnny Cueto? I understand that we got a great performance out of Keuchel and we got great performance out of Velasquez, but this team would be much, much different if you had Carlos Rodon as your 5th starter. And I just can't stop thinking about that, because I think this bullpen's fine enough without Graveman and without Kelly, even though Graveman's been so fantastic.
I think so, but mostly this team's been carried by their pitching. So you don't know what you're going to get if you don't have those guys out there. And Kelly hasn't pitched all year long, but these young cats have seen us opportunity to step up. And Jose Ruiz, truth be told, I don't like him when he comes in the game last year. Even this year, I was like, high leverage situation for Jose Ruiz? No, I'm good. Untested. The reason why we spent money on our big name arms is for them to be in high leverage situations. Tony doesn't care about that. He cares about who wins the job, who he feels good about, who needs the day off. Kendall Graveman, I would have been like, okay, it's your time to close today. But Tony's like, no, you're going to give a full 2 days rest, Kendall Graveman. We're going to our guys. We got this. And when he put Ben Souza in to close the game, I was like, ooh, yeah. I know that the Boston Red Sox are going to counteract with a right-handed hitter, and it's going to be bad. Nope. Harmless pop fly to center field to end the game. So whatever's been happening with the bullpen, they've been coming through for the most part. The worst bullpen guy that we've had is our closer, and that was early in May or in April. You said it was going to be fine. God damn it, Sean, it's fine.
Told you it was fine. And yeah, I like with the Pilecki Bradley decision, I don't know if you had a major opinion on that. Do you? I mean, the fact to sit down Ruiz and go to Souza.
I would 100% more face Souza versus Pilecki than go with Ruiz versus JBJ. Even though JBJ's not a premium hitter, I think he would have came through right there versus Jose Ruiz. I mean, gave up a leadoff double there. It was banged off the monster to JD Martinez. I was very apprehensive after that. I was like, man, the next guy swung at the first pitch. I'm like, you got a guy on the ropes and you hit this weak pop-up. I mean, I know the thought process is to, drive in the ball from the right side or to the right side of the infield, but it was just bad, poor execution. That's what a bad team does. When a team's going through these losing streaks, they get themselves out and they give themselves chances to get out. And so kudos to the White Sox for coming through right there. But I think the Red Sox helped them out with their execution that was so poor.
Yeah, and with Pilecki career versus left-handed pitching, 244, 307, 360. Bradley Jr. versus right-handed pitching, 229, so a lower batting average, but a little bit higher of an on-base percentage at 308 and a higher slugging at 405.
And Pilecki's coming off the bench, too.
Yeah, that's true. I'd rather, though, have Ruiz over Souza. That's why I thought that I'd rather go Bradley Jr., but hey, it worked out. So it's really hard to nitpick. And that's the thing with Tony's decisions today. I can't hammer him too hard on the bullpen decisions, not to pull Keuchel out in the 6th inning, to go with Souza against Bradley Jr. at that point, and then Pilecki at the 9th. I don't really care because they ended up winning the game. And it's like, clearly they didn't have Graveman. And we see MJ asking, why didn't Graveman close? We don't know. And it's just like they went with this decision, whether he was not available, even though he didn't pitch last on Friday, May 6th. Like, it's pretty shocking not to see Graveman, especially try to get the sweep here. But I guess the bright side is you'll have Hendricks and Graveman tomorrow ready to go for the Guardians series. And the Sox have now won 6 straight. So it is really tough to complain, Herb. I guess that's where I really land here.
And a little earlier in the chat, Stephen, we had Dan Payton ask, where's number 10? And we've chronicled earlier in the show. I know people join us late on the YouTube and the Twitter, but if you're listening on the podcast, we really appreciate you listening this far. That's awesome. Dan, Yoán Moncada should be returning on Monday versus the Guardians. Tony La Russa said he should be hitting second in the lineup, where he should be hitting all the time because he gets on base.
Herb, you want to talk about that?
Yes.
All right. Well, if you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us out is to continue. Let me restart that. If you enjoy CHGO, one way to help us continue to grow is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. Not only are you going to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000, but if you make $50 or more on a first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all our web content, and you'll even get a free shirt of your choice from CHGO Locker. If you have any questions, you can email pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we will help you out. And in case you missed it, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You could download the PointsBet app right now and download the PointsBet and register your account from start to finish all from your phone. You'll be signing up with the fastest sportsbook easier than ever, so you can start living your bet life in seconds. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, Herb, I think it's pretty fitting that the Guardians are coming to town to take on the White Sox because this whole 8-game losing streak started with them, and I hope it ends with them, honestly. And I guess it didn't start with them, but that was the first sweep for the Sox in that 8-game losing streak. And someone said, we had a 6-game winning streak right now. You had an 8-game losing streak. What's 2 more wins to level this out and get an 8-game winning streak? So let's talk about the White Sox, who will get Yoán Moncada returning tomorrow. They'll be taking on the Guardians. The Guardians will be throwing out Zach Plesac. The White Sox will be throwing out Zach Plesac. The White Sox will be throwing out Michael Kopech. And on Tuesday, the Sox will be throwing out Lucas Giolito. The Guardians will be throwing out Cal Quantrill. And then on Wednesday, the Sox have not announced who their pitcher will be on Wednesday. It is a day game, but Aaron Savale will be taking on the Sox on Wednesday. So you got Zach Plesac versus Kopech. You got Giolito versus Quantrill, or Giolito versus Quantrill, and then TBD versus Savale. What do you think about the 3-game matchup versus the Guardians?
First thing I see, no Bieber. Let's go. That's awesome. I feel great about that. Secondly, watch the Zach Plesac versus the Padres game. He's not as good as he used to be. I don't know. Early going, he's struggling. He was just giving up rocket shots to the Padres, and some of them are going out of the ballpark, like Manny Machado hit, who's one of the best hitters in the game right now, or they're just going to fielders and getting caught. But he lets, as Dylan Cease used to do, he lets bad things behind him affect him on the mound. There was an error that happened, and he could have just swallowed it up and just, picked his teammate up. Nope. See the emotion on him. When the teammate did something poor, then the next couple of batters, he's erratic. So that's what the White Sox need to do. Make him, as you said before, put some balls in play. And maybe the Guardians give up a couple balls, and then that guy will get rattled by it. So it'll be a good test. He's not the pitcher that, you might have in your head like, oh, Zach Plesac has done pretty well versus the White Sox. Not so far this year. I don't think that he is the guy who's got his head straight as you get with Bieber on the bump, or sometimes you see Aaron Savale versus the White Sox. No matter the ERA, he's always going to give you a quality effort. The White Sox can get to see Zach Plesac and make it 7 in a row tomorrow. 13
hard hit balls versus Zach Plesac last time they saw each other in Cleveland. I do wonder if they're able to keep that up, because the issue too was it was a really cold game out in Cleveland. We talked about the weather affecting them. It should be warmer weather this week in Chicago, as the Sox will take on the Guardians for 3 games and 4 games as they welcome in the New York Bronx Bombers for a 4-game set starting on Thursday. So how important is this 7-game win streak or this 7-game homestand for you, Herb? Because obviously you got the Guardians coming into town and they're above you in the standings. They might not be anymore after this 6-game win streak. But then you also have the Yankees. We thought the Red Sox would be a nice test for the Sox. They end up handling the Red Sox easily. Yankees, a much, much tougher task. They're red hot as these Red Sox were red cold or ice cold. So I do wonder how you're viewing this matchup here with the 7-game homestand between the Guardians and Yankees.
I don't know if it's a measuring stick, but it seems like it. When you play these guys in the playoffs, we saw that last year. The White Sox lost to the Houston Astros decisively in the regular season, and that's kind of what happened in the playoffs. They were a different animal. They're better than the White Sox were last year. Now, the Cleveland Guardians, I don't think are better than the White Sox, and currently the White Sox are a game ahead of them at 14-13, while Cleveland is 13-14. They're playing the Toronto Blue Jays as we tape this. So I don't think they're as good. This is a way to show them, like, hey, enjoy your 3 wins you had in Cleveland. Beautiful wins. I hope you liked them. But that was a thing of the past. That was the April White Sox. The May White Sox don't lose. We don't lose games, son. We're here to win, son. And so that series, 2 out of 3 is minimum for me. And then you got the Yankees. A split is fine with me. That is a really good team. They hit the ball damn hard. They pitch the ball really well. It's going to be really tough to score runs against them. They lead the league, the American League, with runs against, and they're one of the best teams in scoring runs. So good luck.
Yeah, Yankees are 9-1 in their last 10. They have a run differential of plus 49. Right now, the Guardians are 13-14. The Sox are 14-13, finally over 500 after that ugly stretch. They're 2.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins. The Guardians are 3.5 games back of the Minnesota Twins. We got another super chat from our guy, Rusted Cole, saying for years, Brent Seabrook was made a target of angst by really, really stupid fans. I see the absolute same with meathead fans of Yoán Moncada. Herb, you're pointing.
He just said it. Boom. Yes. It's Chris Bryant by the Cubs. Cub fans, it might have been a small minority, but it was very vocal. And this might be the same. A vocal minority of White Sox fans just do not like Yoán Moncada. And I told you the other day, he's a top 5 third baseman. And you guys push back, but he is a top 5 third baseman.
Yeah.
The numbers say last year he was a top 7. If you just go by WAR alone, F4 alone, he was top 7. Do you think that Justin Turner is better than Yoán Moncada?
I don't think Justin Turner is better, but I think there's players that are below Justin Turner that are better than Moncada war-wise.
From last year, no, there's not. The 5 guys you named in that segment are all the same, and Yoán had much more games that he missed. So if you're doing by WAR by game, he was a top 5 third baseman, and he is a top 5 third baseman.
He didn't play.
You could say that he might be injury prone. You could say all those things, but to hate on Yoán Moncada is a weird thing for me. Very weird.
He played 144 games last year, which for third baseman was fairly low. You're fine about that. 152 for Ramirez, 160 for Riley. Devers played 150. Turner played 150. Machado played 150. Arenado played 150. Moncada played 144 games, which, I mean, is fairly decent for any player. You look at the White Sox as a total. The top 3 players were Jose Abreu, who played 150 plus, Moncada, who played 140 plus, and Andrew Vaughn, who played 127. He was a rookie in his first year. So Moncada playing 144 showed you how valuable he was. And maybe it's one of those things where you just see him so much. I mean, Brent Seabrook is a guy that had so much ice time. You saw so much Brent Seabrook because he was a top pairing defenseman. You see so much of Yoán Moncada. Maybe you just get sick of Yoán Moncada. I mean, maybe that's what it is. You know, maybe absence will make the heart grow fonder. I'm fine that you have that take that he's top 5. I would put probably Matt Chapman above him. I would put Arenado above him. I would put Manny Machado above him. Devers, who we just saw, Austin Riley's, and Jose Ramirez. I think that's 6 right there. So I think he still is the 7th best third baseman in the league. But hey, you know what? Maybe he comes back and walks 100 times in the next 130 games, and that'd be sick to see. But Moncada did show a little bit of pop down in Charlotte. What are you expecting from Moncada, especially the 2-hole? I know you're excited about that.
I expect the same that we've been getting the last couple of years. Solid bat, on base almost 40% of the time, doubles that may be turning to home runs this year if he gets his power back. And so all the Yoán Moncada haters can say, oh, there's the prophecy. Finally, he put it all together. The defense is there. The average is there. The getting on base is there. and now he's put together the power, because I know they're looking at that 2019 and they're like, okay, 2019, 2020, 2021. All right, we got to gradually go up. And you saw the COVID year, you just throw that out. And I also throw out the 2021 year. He's a young player coming off of COVID. I don't know the effects of it. But what I do know is when he's in the lineup, the Sox are much better. We saw what Jake Burger is. He's a Major League Baseball player. He's not an everyday guy. And we're going from a replacement level player in Jake Burger to one of the best third basemen in the game. So I'm very excited to get him back and put him where he should be, in the 2-hole. We change up. I mean, Tony liked the handedness there. It's perfect. Go versus a right-handed Tim Anderson, switch hitting Yoán Moncada, right back to Jose Abreu. I wish they would put Yasmani Grandal at third, but beggars can't be choosers. I already got one of my guys up there. So I expect the White Sox to score more runs, not like a ton more runs, but if you have guys on base more, you're going to score more runs. And Yoán Moncada and Yasmani Grandal, who's getting right, are going to be catalysts for this White Sox offensive resurgence.
Oh, and it's interesting too with Moncada, because you look at how he puts balls in play. He is a very hard hitter. A 350 batting average on balls in play last year. It has to do with his hard hit percentage. I think his hard hit percentage was well over 40 or something like that. I'll make sure that I confirm that. Hard hit percentage was 41%, which was his highest since 2019. So you love to see that. It looked like his power was coming back a little bit. But if you add his batted ball events and his walks together, and divide that by his plate appearances, that's 72%. So that is a guy who we talked about a little bit earlier with the White Sox, their plate appearances and their balls in play, making sure that they are consistently, littering the field with balls. We saw that. That's how they scored their run today, with Larry Garcia hitting a tapper in front of the plate, Robert hitting a tapper in front of the plate. What Moncada does is keep innings alive, like you were saying. 72% of the time, he's either putting a ball in play or he's walking. That's the big key right there. 84 walks led the team last year. The weather's going to be heating up, which is going to be good for Moncada. Hopefully less injuries nag for him. And we also see Abreu coming around. We see Grandal coming around. If these guys are on base, Tim Anderson has like 44 multi-hit games since 2021. This is how the offense turns around. We've seen them have big explosive first innings scoring 2 runs. Well, hey, if you have Anderson on base, you have Moncada on base, you have Grandal on base, here comes Jose Abreu. Let's get some RBIs for Pito. Like, I really think that this might be a clicking point. I don't think he's going to click right away, too. I have a feeling Moncada's going to suck for the first week. And, he's coming back off an injury. It's going to happen, but I do have a feeling that we're probably going to have to deal with some Yoán slander for the first week, just because he won't be 100% back. Just because it usually feels like they're never 100% back.
I get you, but I feel like the rehab stint did him well, and they sent him down for a good week to get a couple of bats in, and his stroke looked right. He looked like the player that he always is. No better time than the Guardians. He can eat those folks up, and then the national spotlight of the Yankees. I think Yoán Moncada is going to have a good first week. I'm going to go with the opposite. So when we're sitting here next Sunday on our post-game show with CHGO White Sox, I'll be like, Sean, I told you so. My man Yoán Moncada, 7 home runs this week. Now what do you got to say?
Well, if he comes up and plays 6 games this week and has a week like he did in Charlotte, 22 at-bats, 7 home runs, 1 double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. I don't love 7 Ks to 2 walks, but if he comes up and hits 318, 360, 636, a lot of fans will be damn excited to have 10 back in the lineup. Herb, any final thoughts from the weekend? We talked about the 3-game series that the White Sox swept the Red Sox in. We previewed a little bit of the Guardians White Sox series. Did you like the Peacock broadcast? What'd you think?
Absolutely amazing. I mean, we're kind of biased because of the 2 people on the White Sox side, but Kevin Youkilis fit right in. It was a enjoyable listen for the whole time. It felt like a good talk show, going back and forth. Stoney, Youkilis, back to Benetti, and they didn't really miss too much of the game action. I mean, at the end of the game, I missed the strikeout that Jose Ruiz had on the second guy, but that was not their fault. It was more on the director there. But the broadcast was spot on. I will be watching, maybe not this early. That was way too early. Stop that shit. But next week he's going San Diego versus Atlanta. I might catch it a little bit before we do our pregame next Sunday. see what it's about with Andrew Jones being the analyst. And I think he said Mark Sweeney is the other guy for the San Diego Padres. Solid crew. I'm in for that. And it's an innovative thing to do. I like it. And maybe and Jason Benetti is probably the perfect person to do it because he knows so many people. He knows so much of the history of teams. And I'm glad they started off with the White Sox and the Red Sox because these two teams have history between each other, and especially people in the booth.
Well, it
was being a White Sox great.
Yeah, definitely a White Sox great. I love them showing that the home run, return home
John
run.
Lester.
Yeah, that he had. That was great to see. But I honestly think it's pretty bullshit. $4.99 for that. And do you know what? I mean, that's just
you don't have to pay for the stream, brother.
Yeah, you did. I had to pay for the
Oh, it was just on regular SNBC.
I don't have TV. I'm a cord cutter. I'm 24. I'm not paying for cable. I'm not popping on NBC. I'd have to bust out the bunny ears for that.
You could just get an antenna.
Like I said, I have to bust out the bunny ears for that. I'm just saying $4.99 for that. That's like NBC Sports Chicago Plus. All it was like if NBC Sports Chicago had a Patreon episode where they invited Kevin Youkilis on to talk about the game. That was crap for fans. I mean, Jaxo's coming in here dropping $50 on some super chats every now and then. This man needs to be able to afford that habit. And now you're going to ask him to add on another $4.99 a month because, and Peacock needs to have the Sunday games. Like, that's just NBC Sports Chicago. That's just NBC's typical broadcast, and they added Kevin Youkilis. I really couldn't care less for it. I don't think it was innovative because, yes, it was good. It was very professional. Steve and Jason are, just peanut butter and jelly together. So, I mean, I don't mind that, and I don't mind Jason doing the Sunday games. It's just like you're making baseball fans pay for this and Apple TV. It just seems, I just hate it. That's
and Jaxo, if the Yankees do throw out Cole, Montgomery, and Jameson Taillon, more power to the White Sox. Steel sharpens steel. We got to go against them in the playoffs eventually, I believe. If we purport ourselves to be World Series contenders, the Yankees will be standing in front of us. So let's face him now. Let's see what he has to offer. Let's see if Garrett Cole's ready for the White Sox, not the other way around.
Yeah, well, it will be interesting to see because we saw, how well and successful, I'm blanking on his name, Shane Bieber did against the Sox, but we saw, Nathan Eovaldi didn't have that same success. We didn't see that Robbie Ray had that same success against the Sox this year. So, some of those bigger named pitchers haven't had the success that I've expected them to have, but I do think Garrett Cole is a different monster, but we'll preview that a little bit later. For Herb Lawrence, you can follow him on Twitter at Ecknerwall23. We want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you to all of you who had the super chats in today. That was fantastic to see. The White Sox have won 6 straight. Want to give a shout out to our producer, Stephen Nicholas. Miss you, buddy, over there in CHGO Studio A. Appreciate you producing our show today. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. Make sure you're following the show on Twitter at CHGO_White Sox. We will be back tomorrow with another pre and post game for the White Sox and Guardians. It will be Michael Kopech versus Zach. Please, Zach. That pregame will be coming to you at 6. It's 7:10 tomorrow, right? Okay, so they moved it back. We've been used to the 6:40 game. So now it will be a 6:40 pregame tomorrow for the Guardians and White Sox. Herb and I will be back for the PointsBet pregame at 6:40, and then we will be back with Vinny Duber for the postgame show to recap if the Sox extend their win streak to 7 straight games.
It's for Southside Mondays too. Let's go.
And it's Southside Mondays. We'll see if they can keep up the good luck. For Herb Lawrence, I'm Sean Anderson. We will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you to Fleetwood Mac for their 1979 album Tusk, and go White Sox.